Neno's dad called me and he said, hey son, if you come over to take my daughter's hand in marriage alone, I'm still going to give her to you. You don't need to get everybody on board. And I was like, hey, the world is not ready for my ego right now. Hi everyone, my name is Charles Wanjala Hamala, and I'm a librarian. I'm a very happy soul. I'm here today accompanied by my lovely wife, and she's going to introduce herself.
I'm Marilyn Chepngeno Hamala. I'm a nutritionist by profession.
And this is our love story. We were at church. I used to go to a certain church, and there was a member of the praise and worship team who brought in a chick. He was seeing this girl, and so one day this lady comes to, she also used to be part of the worship team, and I was in the worship team. So she comes to church and she says, I came with my sister, and that was Neno. Neno, it's her pet name, which I really, really love. Sometimes it would be Sweetie or Babe, but like in the crowd, it would be Neno, and she would know I'm talking to her. So the service is going on, and I noticed Neno seated at the back. She had on this denim suit with, it was like a half coat denim suit. Yeah, that was the first time I saw her. This was in 2013, back in the year 2013. Yes, and well, I had the sister's number. I didn't have her number, so I told the sister, hey, niaje jioni. Sasa, we went to my bro's place. We had lunch, and then they went home. So at night, I was asking my now current sister-in-law, hey, how did I do? What did Neno think of me? Hey, the feedback, Joe, Neno said, ai, huyu jamaa anaongea sana, ana maneno mingi. Anaumbuakni, achana na yeye. Yeah, and I don't know how you remember it.
Yeah, it is, as he said, my sister used to attend this church, this certain church. Then one day she invited me to accompany her. So when we were in church is when we met with Charles. It was just a usual meeting. There was nothing so much into it. And so that later on after that day, so my sister came and told me, hey, this guy you met on Sunday actually seems to be interested in you. So at that time, I was like, I know I cannot, I found him too talkative. And I thought our personalities are really very different. Yeah. So at first, I was like, no, this cannot work. So I think my sister relayed the information back. Yes. And we went silent for quite a while, for years, I think.
I followed her on Facebook. I sent her a friend request in 2013. She accepted it in 2015. And she had since never talked to me. She never responded to the inbox, the messenger on Facebook. So I was just there. I went back to school. It was like an elusive kind of thought, so to speak. Yeah, I think until around late 2014, we actually started talking. It was when we started talking in 2014 that she accepted my friend request the following year in 2015. And yeah, we started dating. I think we made it official in November-ish of 2015, yes. Yeah, and it's been a wonderful journey.
So what happened in 2014, we started communicating with him. Because it started through Facebook. I don't know if you remember. Because I wrote that I wanted to start a band. Ile tu ya jokes, I want to start a band. It will be called, I don't know. Then he replied and he said a funny name. We'll name the band this certain name. So that one I found it funny. So that is how we now started the conversation. And we started chatting. And it is then that I realized actually he has a really lovable personality. And through that constant communication is when I started having feelings for him. And that's how we hit it off now, from then on. Yes.
I think the name of the band was a combination of our two names. I had kind of like scrambled both names in a way that, not in a very obvious way, but I'd taken some letters from her name, some letters from my name, and we were there thinking, and we still have that dream. Like I usually talk to her brother, and I tell now my bro, I tell him we need to still do a band, you know. We'll have a lead. He's very good at playing drums. She's a good singer. We can do something with some of our friends and still come up with a band. So it's still a very valid dream, yes.
When we started communicating, it was mainly through the phone. But then now I think we met more towards the end of 2015 is when we met physically. And that's when we decided now we want to do this, we can start dating. And so we dated. Actually, we dated for quite a while.
Yeah.
From 2015 to we got married in 2019. So that's roughly 4 years. Yeah, so it's been an exciting journey. We had a lot of ups and downs, mainly filled with joy.
Yes.
Yeah, and some challenges here and there. We were to get married in 2017.
We had planned our marriage.
We had planned. Yeah, but then some complications arose, family complications here and there, so we decided to postpone it to 2019. So we courted for around 2 years, because it's dating then courting. Then now we got married in 2019.
I think that's a very good recap. I kind of like knew, not that I knew I was going to marry her, but even when we were doing the band things, when we were communicating and chatting, at the back of my mind, I knew I really like her, I really love her, I want this to be a very constant thing. Because she was calm and she had this baby girl personality, so to say, you know. So you know, I'm coming from a background which has a lot of boys. We were born, my siblings, we only have one sister, so it's quite a rough house. So getting to come and meet somebody as soft-spoken as she is, very calm, assertive, it was to me a very joyful thing. And the transition, as you've asked, it really had a lot of challenge and pressure, because everybody tries to look at you as if you are this kid who doesn't know what you're talking about, who you don't know where you're heading. Everybody's like, slow down, do you know that lady really good? Does she know you? Have you guys spent time with one another, etc.? And of course, with a lot of the challenges we have right now in relationships, it's always about, from what tribe did you say he's from? From what tribe did you say she is from? What's her level of education? What's your level of education? As if those things really count. So in 2017, actually there was a time we had decided to call it quits. Yeah, there's a time we had decided, iki to ikai, because there's so much pressure every time. You're trying to fall in love with someone, you're trying to make it work with someone, but the pressure is just too much. The resistance is all out there. Mm-hmm. So we called off our wedding, and we said, you know what, hii mambo ya mapenzi wacha ikae. And I remember we went to a couple friend of ours, and hey, we spent some time there. We were there for like 5 hours. That was the life-changing conversation we had. You know, this guy told us basically, how bad do we want it? We push it on. So, tukasema sawa. We put on our gloves, got back into the ring, fought our way through. Not that in 2019 it was any easier. Actually, it was tougher. It was tougher. But we wrote down the dates, the koito. Many people call it Rasho. In Kalenjin, it's called koito. We set down the date for the koito. It was the weekend of the Easter. And we had planned this on October, the first weekend of October in 2018. So when we sat down in 2018, we wrote down the date that next year, October, the first weekend, there'll be this holiday on the 10th, which was on a Thursday, and then we will rest. So on the 10th, we are going to do our rehearsal. On the 11th, we're going to rest. On the 12th, we're walking down the aisle. The same day that Ineos, the No Man is Limited challenge was done. That is the day we got married. So maybe you take us through how the coital process,
As he's mentioned, actually, that transition was not easy for us. It didn't come easy. We were to settle down 2017, but due to a lot of issues here and there, because I can say personally, I faced a lot of rejection from his family, a lot of rejection. Though some of his family members were very supportive, but not all. Some were really, really rejected me. And it was really tough. It was really tough. And that's what made us, in 2017, rethink this whole process. Are we sure we want to go ahead with this if all the family is not part of it? But then, even before these couples talked to us, we had a lot of meetings when we wanted to split. We had a lot of meetings, and you'd find it's so hard, especially when you've fallen in love with someone. It's so hard to just separate, especially due to external factors, because that connection is still there. The love you have for each other is still there. And I think after we got through that rough patch in 2017 is when we decided that it's going to be the two of us. Because the reality of it is when you're living together, it's you and your husband. All those external parties are not there. And if anybody knows you, it is your spouse. Yeah. So even in 2019 now, as we were going through we were arranging for the coito, the rejection now was at its peak. And I remember Charles was diagnosed with high blood pressure. He was that stressed. And I remember we were going to the hospital. The doctor is saying, how old is he again? He's checking his records. He's seeing he's 20-something-year-old. And the blood pressure is like that of somebody who's in their 60s. And all this mental pressure was due to what was going on, He wanted to make this move. He was not getting the much support we expected. But we thank God because God came through in miraculous ways. And it happened. Actually, it happened to be one of the best coitos or rorashios ever. Yeah, so we saw the hand of the Lord, and even the Lord turned around people's hearts, those who were against us in the beginning. Just from the coito, they came up with a different testimony, and they were like, we've seen Jesus in that function, we've seen Jesus in that family. So we have seen the hand of the Lord. And now from the coito now to the wedding, it wasn't much, there wasn't much complications. And we also had so much support from friends and family. Yes, so that's what happened.
One of the things that really boosted me was when Neno's dad called me and he said, hey son, if you come over to take my daughter's hand in marriage alone, I'm still going to give her to you. You don't need to get everybody on board. And I was like, hey, the world is not ready for my ego right now.
So, just to know how bad it was, it had gotten to a point we were thinking, tulisikia pale tao kuna wase wanakanga.
Kuna wazee fulani tao mnezenda mbonge na wao, mwachote kitu kidogo wanakulizanga tu ni mkabla gani unataka kuoa. Leta ule jamaa, tunaenda kwa wakale, tunaenda kwa WhatsApp, unajua. So we really thought that was going to be the way out, and I had even come up with my own list,
family members.
Because you're there, you're kind of like trying to beat your deadlines and pressure and all this. And really, if you love someone, nothing matters. Nothing else matters. And I think this is just my own thought. If you really want to make people stop getting married, these people are going to unanimously gang up against you. If you're a parent out there and you're telling, mtoto umeleta huyu msichana kutoka wapi, umeleta huyu mvulana kutoka wapi, huyu msichana na huyu mvulana, they are going to gang up and start seeing you as the enemy. But now, if you people are just supportive, then they are going to start looking at one another like, hey, we are na hii weakness, we are na hii strength, this can work. So if you just support them, they focus on one another. if any external factor tries to split them up, they gang up against you to prove that it's really gonna work. And
and especially if there's really no basis for that, you rejecting them being together. You know, it's different if there's actually a valid reason behind it. But when it comes to issues such as tribe, things which really have no basis, so it really does not matter. Because we always joke with my husband while in the house, we ask, you know, these people who are against us, if we had listened to them, where would we be now? Definitely we could be miserable, you know, because I believe you find true love once. Yeah, so I thank God that we went with it, we stuck, we stood our ground, and here we are.
During the wedding day, I was sick. I really didn't enjoy much. I was really struggling. What I really enjoyed in the Koito was the food. Hey, we went to Kericho, and I remember everybody was just telling me, Charlie, your job here today is so simple. You know, just your work is to sit down, relax. We're going to handle everything. And so I was just there looking at time, and the food was really, really nice. Then the dancing. I had never seen my mom dance. My mom was there with Mama Neno, and we made a circle, and we really, really danced. Mwalimu Kenda got songs, and then there was a hype session. We danced to some Luya jigs. Back in high school, I used to be in cheerleading squad. So when I saw watu hawajachangamka, I went to the front, and we hyped everybody up. Actually, to a point that the ladies who were seated with Neno's side came over to our side, and Neno was left sitting alone in the tent. And I think the last thing that I really enjoyed in our Koito was the preaching. There was a pastor, God bless his heart. And we have a photo where he told everybody to put 2 fingers in the air, and he said, maneno ya watu wawili, wachana nayo, siingilie kati. I'll forget everything, but those 3 things, man, will stand with me for as long as time will stand.
For me, for the Koito, I remember the dancing. You know, for the Kalenjin culture, we are kind of reserved. We are not used to this hype, the Isukuti dancers and whatnot. So when Kinachali came, they came with that energy. And my dad still jokes till today and says, where they danced at our home, the grass has never, Nyasi Jaime your place. They danced there all, you know, and the villagers were amazed. Like, wow, this dancing is on another level. So I remember the dancing. There was a lot of celebration, especially now for us. We know what we've conquered, what we've come through. Yes. We gave our all that day. And for our wedding, I remember my highlight would be the vows. The vows were really special. They were really special. And there's a time we made our own vows. We read to each other. And I think that one is what really counted. That really counted for that day. And just for the wedding, it's just seeing all of it coming to reality. You know, you get to see that this day has actually materialized, that you're starting this chapter with this amazing person. So it was really overwhelming, and it was a great start. It was a great day. Yeah.
The wedding day was a flood of faces. A lot of eyes, a lot of people calling you out.
Yeah, and you can't believe all these people have come just because of the 2 of us.
And the day just flew by.
Yeah.
We barely started, it was done, it was dark.
Yeah, it went fast.
Bari hapo wakidansisha watu. It was a good day. On an easy day, Neno likes sleeping in. Neno can sleep. Actually, the first days, I used to think Neno is dead. There were times I would wake up and I'm so worried. Because she sleeps peacefully, you barely see her breathing. So on a normal day, I would wake up, maybe cook breakfast, and I watch a lot of animations. Then she would, on a normal day, she would, on an easy day that is, she would wake up at around 11. We have this rooftop, we can either go sunbask, or we can sit at the balcony counting vehicles on Thika Road. This is just the 2 of us. We don't have a kid yet. And Then we watch Netflix. We watch a lot of She likes watching a lot of Netflix.
Yes,
I keep her
guilty.
company as she watches Netflix. We would read. We would discuss. We like engaging in a lot of discussions. We are ministers of the word, so there's a lot of finding out how is so and so doing. Let's call this other person. Let's talk to the other couple, and then she likes cooking chapatis for me. I love eating chapatis that are cooked by her. And then time seems to fly when I'm with you. I don't know. What else do we do on an easy day? I don't know. Just lounge and the day ends.
Yeah, he's mentioned most of it, because actually we're very busy. So when we get, we're very busy, we have careers, business, church. As he said, we are ministers. So when we get time, we really appreciate it. So most of the time, sometimes we even switch off the TV and we say, let's just talk, you know. So we do a lot of talking. We like singing. I don't know if he's mentioned. We love singing. Sometimes we can just pick on a hymn and start singing.
Yes.
Yeah, and then sometimes we, as he say, we watch television. Yeah, and his concentration span is... He's an extrovert, right? He's very talkative, very outgoing.
Yeah.
So sometimes he can't stick to one activity for a long period. So sometimes when we're watching, after an episode, we go to the rooftop or we go outside. Yeah. So on an easy day, we really just chill.
Enjoying the company of one another. 30 seconds to vouch for marriages. Guys, this thing works. And let's focus on what works. Let's not focus on what doesn't work. Marriage really is Christian. It was established by God. So if God is the foundation of it, thereof nothing can crumble. You don't depend, you don't rely on your own understanding. There's a lot of support you need from people. You need to have couple friends. You need to have couple hangouts. You need to have a mentor. You need to have people whom... Hey, if you're choosing for best couples, guys, you don't look for people who can make the wedding photos come out cleanest. You look for someone who can tell you stop what you're doing and you stop, you know? You need to, hey, and this is not being biased to ladies and gentlemen. This kind of thing, me, I'm looking for someone who is tough, haambiwi kitu. You will get married to that person and then, hey, hata ambiwa kitu, hata na wewe, hata na mtu mwingine mkikosana. So you need to find people whom you can submit to and be subjected to, who can guide you. You need to find people who have gone ahead in the game. Like the minister who united us in holy matrimony was 42 years in marriage by that time. And he invested his life in premarital counseling to us. Told us what was going to happen. So if you lay the right foundation, if you walk in the right procedure, you know, if you take time to work on it, marriage is really going to work. And then don't look at projected images from other people. Oh, these couples are walking in Tao, wameshona vitenge zinafanana, they are holding hands. What are we not doing right in Nai? You do your thing. Because watu wana struggle na hawasemi. So if you also go out there trying to paint a perfect image, you're going to intimidate other people. Just be real with one another. That's what I would vouch for marriages.
For me, I'd also say marriages work. Marriage is beautiful. It is a wonderful experience, especially when you get the right person. And as he's mentioned, foundation is really key. Because I remember for us, the first gift he has ever bought me, was a Bible. Yeah, so I thank God that we started, if you start the marriage on the right foundation, that is Christ, it will be really good. And that also, when you are in a Christian matrimony, you know, you are under a certain authority. It is really hard to be married to somebody who's not under any authority. Yes. Yeah, and for him, we know the hierarchy of the church, that Christ is the head of the husband, and then the husband the head of the wife. So if you understand that, it's really easy. You rely on the Holy Spirit to submit. Najua watu wamesema submission ni ngumu, but you will rely on the Holy Spirit every day, and it's a really good experience, and we thank God for every moment. Yeah. All right, this is my love letter to you, babe. I just want to say thank you so much. You've really transformed my life. Life is definitely better with you in it. It has been an awesome journey, and thank you for holding my hands. Thank you for being understanding, for pushing me. You're a great husband. I thank God for you every day. You're a blessing to me and to many people out there. So as we pray, as remember our wish that we shall die together in our old age. Yeah, and I love you so much.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that was so sweet. This is my love letter to you, sweetie. The best thing that has ever happened to my life, you know. I appreciate every little moment we've spent. I appreciate every little conversation we've had. And I thank you so much for being in my life, forever coming. You know, the joy you bring to me every day when I wake up and I look into your eyes, look into your face. I just feel, I feel so nice. And yes, I'm going to fulfill your dream. We're going to die very old, holding hands. I think 116 years old, maybe. And well, now to my part. Always and always, I look at you and I see a very bright future, knowing that you're soon going to be parents to wonderful kids. We're soon going to be mentors to more couples. We're soon going to conquer the world. But what is really important is we're going to do all that side by side. And every day, you just transform into a new meaning of love to me. You teach me things I never knew I would learn. You make me walk through paths I never knew people can tread. And for that, I'm forever grateful and always blessed and honored to call you my wife. I love you.